up, guys? My name is Diego. Welcome to tomorrow's Yesterday in Sports. So with NFL, this was a busy NFL week, I feel like.
Absolutely.
So let's start out with a quick one. Urban Meyer, do you think he's going to keep the job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, the owner already came out and said that
Yeah,
he has
but
to gain the trust back. But
You
You don't think he should keep his job as a football coach?
I don't know
because
that.
he
No,
was-
no. Because I read an article today. The president or the owner did come out and say what he said, but not only is the video out there, but according to this article and a player on the team who went unnamed, the locker room is like, it's not good. Nobody respects him. Nobody wants him. He's not a mentor to people. He's not being respected. And then this happened, and the team is even looking at him more like, bro, what the heck? So I don't know that he's going to get fired, but this article mentioned that there's a possibility of him either getting fired or resigning within.
So here's my question, and I don't even know that there's an answer right now, is who do you bring in to replace him that they would respect? You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter. There's plenty of
Well,
coaches
there
right now
is,
that you could bring in.
I look at it and I'm like, at least finish off the season. You guys aren't
No,
going to do
it's-
anything this season.
It's not about finishing the season because it's
The season is over.
If you're
The season is over.
Yeah, no, but if you're the GM and you're trying to get him out at that point, you're trying to do it as quick as possible, because if you can bring a coach in now that can start to develop that relationship with the players, it's beneficial. I just don't think it's necessary.
No.
I think
if there's more going on in the locker room, obviously we don't really know about that, but based off of just the situation that's happening right now, was it dumb? Sure. Was it a distraction now to everybody else? Yes. How many people have made a stupid mistake though? And
Yeah, no, I don't think because of that, but I think that just adds. So here's the article that I read. So the Urban Meyer situation in Jacksonville has reached a crisis point, especially in the locker room. One player told me that he has zero credibility in that stadium. He had very little to begin with.
Well, it's also because he hasn't won a game yet.
Correct, but this kind of stuff doesn't help, right?
No.
And then I guess, he made his apologies. He talked to management. He was told, "Hey, that wasn't right."
You got to gain
Slap
our
on the
trust
wrist.
back, sir.
Yeah, but I guess that what else happened was that this player said that there was supposed to be a Monday team meeting where you would think that he would go and apologize to the team.
Yeah.
He canceled it. They didn't even go. And so the players, according to this player, who again is unnamed, thinks he was too. They think
Trevor
he was
Lawrence.
too scared.
Call it right now.
I don't know if it's Trevor Lawrence, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe
I don't
it
know.
is.
He should
But
keep his job based off, like I said, based off of just the situation that we've seen.
Yeah.
That should not be enough to fire him. If there's stuff behind closed doors that's going on.
I'm not necessarily even saying firing. I'm saying I don't know that he's going to stick around. Right. If
Just out of pure embarrassment.
Not even
like,
embarrassment. Okay, so we know that Urban Meyer was a good college football coach, right? One of the best. So he knows what it takes to be a good coach and run a team well. If he doesn't have the respect of the locker room, if he doesn't have the respect of his players, and if it's not going anywhere, and if something like this happens, then why are you going to put the players and the team through that?
Can it be gained back?
Maybe it can, and that's what he has to decide.
That's what it's going to come down to for him. Is he think he can gain the team back
quickly enough?
Yeah.
The issue is with Urban Meyer is we know he's a good college football coach.
Correct.
We're
seeing that he's not.
Well,
the point
college
is,
is so much different from the
how to
NFL
win.
because if you're putting he had a great position at Ohio State because
he knows how to win. He knows what it takes to win. I get what you're saying.
When you have grown men who don't respect you for good reason, from what we like, if they don't respect you for good reason, you're not going to gain it back.
You can, but it takes a lot, especially in a situation like
when
it's
when
going to take a win.
Because from what I've heard, I've read a few things about him taking losses very hard.
Yeah.
Because he is so used to winning. He loves to win all these things because at the college level, you're at Ohio State, right? You're at a good program with good recruiting, where now you're at Jacksonville, where people are getting paid to do this. You don't get to choose your plays. You don't get to do all these things. And so he's taking losses really hard, but it's a different dynamic. It's a different scenario where, and that's another reason that I've heard he might not last, is because he's taking things harder than an NFL coach should take.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to
Growing
last very long.
I
I don't
know.
think even if he makes it the whole season, I don't think he's coming back next season.
Depends on how much they win.
I think he just needs to retire and be done.
But if the problem is if they're going to get a new coach next season, might as well do it now for what you guys were saying. Like,
here's the problem though. It's almost you can almost look at it the same as like a rookie quarterback, right? Where we're saying like, give him a chance. Like, give him a chance.
But if the team isn't going to give him a chance,
exactly, that's going to be between them and him, right? But from our aspect, like, give him a chance. Let's see what he can do. Like, because everyone's talking. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit, but rookie quarterbacks, like, everyone's like, oh, bust or not, and it's like,
personally, my opinion is to give him a chance.
Yeah, give him a chance.
But I also know, like, again, if you don't have the respect of your team, and if you as a coach and somebody who is intelligent enough to tell that I'm not going to gain it back quick enough to make a difference on this team, might as well just give the reins to somebody who can.
Well, here's another issue with, because we were talking about, just fire him and let him.
It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Like, let them pass. Yeah. Usually when they fire somebody, they don't bring in the next head coach. Right. They'll bring in an interim. Usually the assistant coach.
Who will usually become the head coach.
Not always.
Most of the time.
If there's a better coach out there, then they're gonna go get him. So I mean,
but
that's the danger with that
is the fact that an assistant coach has been with the program, right? So
but if it doesn't matter with Jacksonville, because if the assistant coach has been with the program for this long,
it does matter though. It does because
So what is he gonna do?
It's growing pains. It's growing pains.
They should just convince Brady to retire and go coach the team.
It's growing pains. They just got a couple new guys. Like, they're still trying to figure it out. It's the same thing with the Jets. And, like I said, we can get into the rookie quarterbacks now. And
I have a quick question, though, real quick. Just because of my comment, what do you guys think Tom Brady will do after he retires? Just go and just live life?
His own thing.
Or do you think he'll be an analyst, or do you think he'll be going to try to coach?
I think he'll do a little bit of analyze. I think he'll do a little analyst.
He
did say that he wants to go back to New England. Like, that's where he would want to live. And
I think I see him coaching more, like at least a QB coach, maybe not a head coach.
I don't necessarily
offensive
see
coordinator.
Him doing anything. I just see him. I mean, he has his wife. Like, he's
but
selling.
But he can win more rings.
Well, he has his brand.
Know what I mean? Like,
you know what I mean? He has his brand.
Yeah.
He has his stuff he's selling. So I can see him just going off and doing that. And maybe in a few years coming back, but I
don't think right away.
Because you have Breeze who stepped in right away, you have Tony Romo who came back right away, you have Peyton. So
that's a good question.
Yeah, I honestly, if it was me, if I was Tom Brady, I would think, let me go coach somewhere, win a few more rings. Just kind of.
Yeah, but the question comes in like, he is the go. It's unquestioned. Can he coach? Can he coach a whole team? And
yes,
you know what
and
I
that's
mean?
That's where. But you look at games like, I don't remember exactly which game it was, but where he's making the calls. Like, we know that he has that intelligence.
But how much of it? How much of that is
being on the field?
Well, no. How much of that is just his natural ability? How much was taught to him? Because if it wasn't taught to him, is it easy to go now teach somebody else? If he was never taught it, how is he gonna know how to teach it to somebody else? He's obviously a highly intelligent person when it comes to football. So
I think he could be a successful coach.
And going off that, how much of it is him just being on the field and making those spur of the moment things, whereas you're on the sideline not necessarily seeing everything?
Just reading defenses, all that kind of stuff. Whatever.
I think I would actually really like to see him as a coach and see what he can do.
The only reason I don't is I don't want him to not have success and then give people reason to not.
Yeah, I mean, he's solidified himself enough as a player. He should
just buy a team.
Just
own a team. Michael Jordan. Just own the Charlotte.
People will find any reason to.
That's what he should do. He should just buy a team.
I can see Robert Kraft selling him the team after when he wants to be done with the team. I can see him selling the team to Tom Brady.
I guess let's go to that game because there's something else I want to point out. That I'm pretty sure that Tom Brady has now beat every single team.
There's only three other quarterbacks.
That happened last year. He played.
No, he didn't.
They were not
at the Patriots' home stadium.
No, this is the first time he's beat the Patriots because they made a point of it. They made a point of it.
Okay.
Because Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, him, and one other quarterback are the only quarterbacks in history to beat every team.
But he beat it every single team at Patriots Stadium.
There's only one stadium that exists right now that he hasn't won at.
SoFi.
No.
Which one?
Seahawks. He hasn't won a home game or an away game
I was
at the
gonna say.
Seahawks. Yeah, I looked it up today.
Interesting. Well, another thing I wanted to talk about that game was Steve Belichick's mullet.
Oh, and just his face.
What a horrendous mullet!
I didn't know that was Steve Belichick.
I didn't
Yeah,
either.
they mentioned
Yeah,
it.
me
They
either.
mentioned it in the game. They mentioned that
I
it was
think
his
I
brother
had the game
or
actually
his son
muted
or
for
something.
a bit, but
Oh, his face is as soon as he made a face where he was like,
yeah.
they were like, "That's gonna be a meme," and he kept like, "Ah."
They did not play the Patriots last year, by the way.
Yeah,
I
they
just looked it up really quick.
Yeah. So the Patriots Bucks.
The Bucks didn't look.
I think
special.
the Patriots just no, because here's the thing. Bill Belichick said it in his interviews after. They know how to be like he knows
There's
how
no
to
one
beat
that
Tom Brady.
knows Tom Brady
Yeah,
better
but
than Bill Belichick.
the defense has looked bad. The defense has looked not very good all season.
But
And
this is something that I didn't realize. Because maybe I just didn't
I think
pay
it was
attention
more
to football.
I think it was more the Patriots defense shutting down the Bucks offense.
I think it was both.
But Bill Belichick started out as a defensive coordinator, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Which means
On
like
the
I mean
Browns.
the man knows how to defend against Tom Brady. Like were the Bucks at the top of their game?
No.
Were they missing a key person? Yes.
Their
But the
receivers could
Patriots-
also not catch the ball.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
the
I was going to
Patriots
say. The
looked really
Bucks
good.
offense, the Bucks offense didn't struggle so much as just the receivers could not catch the ball.
So here's a question. Let's say what's his bucket makes a field goal. Do the Bucks win? They had all 3 timeouts with like 55 seconds. Does Tom Brady?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
What?
No.
I think
Had they made the field
had
goal,
the Patriots made the field goal, do you think Tom Brady? I mean,
And then the
Aaron
Bucks
Rodgers
get-
did it with 30-something
Yes.
seconds.
no,
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think
You-
he does.
It's the same. It would be the exact same scenario that happened against the Cowboys.
No, but
No,
the
it would be
difference
it would
is
be the same thing that Aaron Rodgers did.
But
Well,
the
the
same thing
difference
that
is-
happened with the Cowboys, except they have their timeouts. That's what I'm saying. The Cowboys came down to Tom Brady
the difference
going
is
down
the
the
defense
field.
that you're playing,
Yeah, I think he
right?
would've.
Because when in the Green
it
Bay
was
game,
it was clutch moment.
in the Green Bay game, one of the reasons it was so easy for Aaron Rodgers to do it in those 37 seconds
because he was Aaron Rodgers.
But the defense blew their coverages as well.
Yeah, but I see Tom Brady running the slants and getting it across
Exactly.
field and just
I
getting
also-
it up
I
with
also-
Oh
touchdowns.
yeah, you can.
I think he
but
pulled
I
it
think
off.
also see the Patriots defense starting to get a little like,
And
oh,
it
we're
was
gonna win.
raining.
Oh,
I mean,
shoot,
I
we missed
don't,
one.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think they win.
Did you guys see Tom Brady's face when he made that first down? When he ran
Yeah.
for the first down?
Yeah. Just a
Utter
slide.
enjoyment, just like, hey.
I love that. Okay. Yeah, I think the Patriots. That was the best they've looked. Mac Jones.
I think that's a good time to bring up our rookies, right?
Yeah.
Mac Jones, he played A-okay.
Yeah, and
Played
I mean,
good.
and people keep saying he outdueled. It's kind of weird to put it down to just 2 people on a field of 22.
Let's
you
say this.
can't
He
say that
held
Mac
his
Jones
own
out-
against Tom Brady
No,
and
he
the
didn't.
Buccaneers.
No, he didn't because he didn't play against Tom Brady.
Okay, I
Right?
get that.
So
but
that's
you're
why
always gonna,
that's why you can't say that he held his own against Tom Brady because
All right, how about
he
this?
didn't. He held
Mac
his own
Jones and the
against.
Patriots held their own against Tom Brady and the Bucks.
Yeah, they still lost though.
But something that I agree with that I heard on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. Was that in all reality, and this, in my opinion, this was what I was thinking after the game. The Patriots won that game overall. Like just showing what they can do. Mac Jones showing what he can do. Yeah, they didn't win the game, but they held the Bucks, and they were.
Well,
This
Tom
close
Brady
to
didn't
winning.
have a touchdown. He didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah,
I'm going to
think,
say, weather is different on that game. It's a blowout.
No,
Because
I-
Tom
but
Brady
you can
also
say
Tom Brady
all-
also mentioned that though. He was like, "This weather is not happening in Florida. Like, we
yeah,
came
but he
up here.
spent
We weren't."
20 years playing.
But
in
his
that
team
weather.
But his
didn't.
team didn't. Though.
So, well, here's
Yeah.
a question.
that's the receivers couldn't hold on to the ball because it was wet. I'm saying if the weather was different,
That's home
It's
field
a-
advantage.
I know. I'm saying hypothetically, if the weather was different, I think that the mistakes that the receivers were making caused that game to be closer than it was.
Here's a question that I've been hearing, and I want a quick answer. Do you agree with the field goal attempt,
Yes.
or should they have gone for the 4th and 3?
I mean, the fact that it was that close to getting in, I agree. It's a toss up for me. Either way,
I said quick answer.
I said yes quickly.
No. Yes. No. No.
I don't.
I don't.
I don't. I think they should have gone for it.
Quick
'cause-
answer is no. That's it.
No,
I mean,
but the thing is,
with
okay, if they
Bill
go for
Belichick
it,
knowing that it's Tom Brady on the other side, I think go for it. You take your chance.
Either way,
and if you don't get it, you lose. And
but I don't know. For me, it's like I feel like the chances of
With-
losing the game, we've seen
the weather.
we've seen teams get stopped with inches, right?
yeah.
3 yards is a lot, and you will not get the ball back.
Maybe we're not looking at the right thing. Maybe it's like what were the statistics on third down conversions?
Yeah.
I look at, because obviously this is a different scenario, but I look at Chiefs versus Ravens game where he says, "Hey, should we go for the fourth down? Yeah, let's do it." Obviously, it's different because Lamar Jackson has been in the league longer, but
He's also a lot more mobile.
That's a lot of pressure to put on Mac Jones.
I know, but I
That's-
in my opinion,
so
if you go for it, you
You're either putting the pressure on Mac Jones, who this is going to be the most pressure he's ever had in his entire life, or you put the pressure on the kicker, who's felt this pressure before.
or you. I don't know.
Right? I think that was part of the decision, right? Who are we going to put the pressure on? Somebody who we know has lived up to the pressure in the past, which, in all reality, he did. Weather, everything. That was. They mentioned that he had a bad leg. The weather was bad. It's tying. It was going to tie his longest field goal.
How do you, like, if I'm Bill Belichick, you're tying your longest field goal, you have a bad leg, all this stuff. How do you say, okay, let's go for it?
Because he has the experience to say he can do it. And it's like it was 6 inches off.
I think either way that the Bucs would have won.
If they would have got the first down and ran the clock down a little bit more and got closer and kicked a field goal, I don't think so.
You're insane.
I don't think so.
You're delusional.
Anyway, back to rookie quarterback.
Yeah, so we had 4 rookie quarterbacks play
5.
a significant amount today. 5, you're right.
All of
on
them
Sunday. Trey Lance
I don't
played
Looked good.
played very well. He went 9 for 18.
The one throw that he had, the touchdown. Oh, how's it feel, huh?
I'm just trying to finish the statistics first, so hang on. He went 9 for 18, 157 yards, and 2 touchdown passes. Jimmy Garoppolo in the rest of the game went 14 for 23, 165, and 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So, Trey Lance looked great.
Yeah.
He looked great.
I'll say the one thing is that the 78 of his yards came on a blown coverage with Deebo Samuel wide open. And
Still
so,
great.
I mean, no, I'm not
still got to
saying
make
he
the throw
I'm not
because there have
saying he
been
didn't look
quarterbacks
good.
who have a
I'm
wide
just-
open receiver
I'm just saying
and just blow it.
Deebo Samuel caught it and ran for 50 yards to the touchdown. So
Boom.
that always
That's
confuses
how
me.
that's how
because
Tom Brady broke a record.
that's-
Somebody caught it and just ran.
I know. That's what confused me is you can screen pass and he can run 99 yards and it can be a 99-yard touchdown for the quarterback.
Yeah.
He did nothing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like there was a couple of those this weekend that I always think this on those kind of plays. There's one caveat that I'll point out in a second. It's hard. I feel like just like interceptions and just like dropped passes, it's hard to put that for the quarterback, right? Like in my mind, because he didn't throw a 99-yard pass. He threw a 20-yard pass, and then the guy that caught the ball did the work to get to the end zone. Of course, they get the stat as well, but it should be a 20-yard pass, right? That was converted into a touchdown or something like that. But at the same time, it's where I think that they kind of find the logic in giving it to the quarterback because he placed it in such a way that it gave him the opportunity, right? Like,
yeah. Here's the thing. So that's a great segue into Zach Wilson because they got their win, which was great. He went 21 for 34, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So leaps and bounds, by far his best game that he's played, and it showed. But they were making a point while I was watching the game that 2 of his passes were like 59 yards in the air before they caught it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like how can you measure it? Obviously, but he looked. That's the Zach Wilson. That's what Zach Wilson. The Zach Wilson that people have been waiting to see is just, and that's the thing where they talked about it a lot this weekend when their coach is saying like, please just play boring football and blah blah blah. But then you see him do this, and now his coach is like, well, play boring football when you need to. Yeah. Which yes, but let him get into his groove. Crowder obviously made a big difference being in the game. Gave him another top. A
number
great
2
receiver, another receiver to hit. You still had the receivers. Corey Davis still dropped a couple of balls. Zach Wilson still missed throws. Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
He
Well,
missed a throw at the end of the game in overtime.
That would have given them.
That would have gave him a touchdown. Just a little dump off to the tight end. It was like a 5-yard pass.
Well, there was two that he missed at the end of the game to get the first down
to Corey Davis.
That he missed, and that's what I was gonna say is really good. He did really good, especially in the second half. But there's still a lot of work he has to do because he's missing bad.
Yeah, but how many times? I mean,
he's hitting
when I was
well,
watching the Bucks play the Patriots, how many passes in reality? How many passes did Tom Brady just miss?
Oh,
really
and
bad.
Every quarterback does.
It's gonna happen.
But like Miguel said, there were two passes in particular that probably would have won them the game. The one at the end where if they get the first down, they win because they run the clock down. And then he left it short. Like the guy couldn't even reach out and grab it.
But here's the biggest argument to what you're saying. They did win.
No, that's the thing.
W.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
He looked good and he played better than he has, and his passes that he did connect on were great. Yeah. There's just a lot more that he can do to become better, which is awesome because you always want things to do to become
real quick
better.
With so kind of in the same vein of the stats where like even with like dropped passes, it's hard to say like, well, it was on the quarterback, right, for a missed catch. So, and with Zach Wilson, and I read this before this last game, so I don't know what the stats are now, but it's actually interesting because in the case of Zach Wilson, and this goes to show that it's not entirely his fault, which we already know, but I believe his completion percentage is around like less than 50%, like again as of before last game. But the adjusted completion percentage, so not counting dropped passes by the receivers, is like 73.
Yeah.
So they're
dropping a lot of passes.
He's doing great,
which is crazy.
And the time from snap to contact on average from the D line is like 1.3 seconds, 1.3 or 4.
Their line did play a little better, but Zach Wilson really did use his mobility and just get out of the pocket. But just real quick, Corey Davis had 4 receptions. He was probably targeted a lot more than that. Dropped a couple of those, like literally just hit it in the hands. 4 receptions for 111 yards.
Wow.
Yeah. His long was 53. Literally, once he caught it, it was he was in the end zone, 53 yards in the air. And then Cole, who was huge in the game, had a long of 54. So Zach Wilson's just throwing the ball freaking down the field. It's crazy.
I also want to say this: the Jets' defense is for real. They need
their
props
defensive line.
They shut them down when they.
You know
the
kid Quentin Williams. He had a couple sacks in the game. Probably one of his best games. Have you ever seen the video of him where he's being interviewed by somebody before he maybe was on draft day, and he sneezes and then he blesses himself and then thanks himself. Yeah. He goes, "Achoo, bless you, thank you," and then keeps going to himself.
But no, their defense is like I know that Zach Wilson had a good second half because his first half wasn't good. But their defense is keeping them in the games. Every game they have kept them in the games. And I only watched the end of the fourth quarter and overtime, and the defense was going at them every time. And they sacked him. Ryan Tannehill down. And granted, they didn't have Julio Jones and AJ. They didn't have Julio Jones and AJ Brown, so that's probably why he screwed you.
I still won, luckily.
And that might be a reason that they struggled so much.
7 sacks in the game.
But they were shutting them down.
Figure it out.
I have a cold, dude. I'm sick.
Going back to last week when we were talking about on draft day, you need to draft offensive players. Your defense is set for the most part.
Keep the players.
For the most part, you can obviously get better people, but if you focus on an offensive line and people to put around Zach Wilson, you're gonna be a decent team.
I genuinely think that unless they can't keep their defense, which I don't know what their free agency statuses are and stuff like that, but if they can keep their defense, the next draft should be only offensive, and I maybe just a couple of skill players
that said that they're going to take a projection shows them taking like a D end or something, which is weird. But to briefly talk about the next two, Justin Fields, they won. He went 11 for 17, 209 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. They also did play the Lions. So,
yeah.
Jared Goff actually played really well. Did you see then snapped the ball off his leg and it was an interception?
They call it
Like
that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, no, it was
So
off his balls.
So he snapped it. They were in shotgun and he went up to the line to change something and they snapped it, bounced off his testes, bounced off the lineman's helmet and landed in the defensive lineman's hands.
Well, I saw something because the butt fumble.
And they said we moved an interception. Because it doesn't show that Jared Goff has any
it's not his interception, honestly. He didn't throw the ball. The center threw the ball. If it's like if Jared Goff throws the ball and it bounces off the wide receiver's hands. Anyway,
I think they called it a fumble.
What I was gonna say is they said the butt fumble. They said we moved on from that and gone to the dick pic.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's so good.
That was funny.
So real quick with
And
the
then-
Bears though, because I saw it was a topic of conversation. If Andy Dalton is healthy this week,
he's starting.
who do you start?
Well, no, Matt Nagy has come out and said Andy Dalton is our starter, which is stupid. It's ridiculous. But really quickly before we move on to the next topic, Trevor Lawrence also looked really good this week.
Did he? I don't even know.
He looked good, and they almost won the game.
They play? Oh, they played on.
They almost beat the Bengals, who are a decent team this year, and so, I mean, they lost by 3 points. So he looked actually really good.
No, he didn't look really good. He looked okay.
Did you watch the game?
17 of 24, no touchdowns.
He
no
looked better.
interceptions.
He looked a lot better than what he's been showing.
Well, it's like saying
Joe Burrow looked really
it's like
good.
saying that Zach Wilson looked good. Trevor Lawrence honestly looked
Zach
good
Wilson
this game.
did look good because he had 2 touchdown throws.
Yeah,
that's
but it's
why.
not okay. But
I'm just saying.
He
Trevor
looked
Lawrence,
better.
We're looking at not only the stats, but we're looking at the eye test. He looked.
They still
better.
haven't won. That's
Yes,
the
but
problem.
he looked
That's
better.
the problem.
Maybe it's Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Oh, that son of a
So
bitch.
real quick, I want another quick topic because I've been hearing this talked about a lot in the last couple of days.
Oh, please tell me it's this one.
What, the Ravens?
Yes.
Okay, so the Ravens'
have
final
so much-
play. So instead of kneeling the ball, and I want to get you guys' quick opinion, right?
It's not gonna be
Describe the
So-
scenario.
Yeah, so just a quick answer, and then you can go into explanation, right? So it's the end of the game, 3 seconds left. Ravens get the ball back, and they are ahead 23-7, I believe.
It's
Something
it's
The
enough.
Broncos tried to throw a touchdown pass.
They
With 3
missed.
seconds left,
Yeah.
they missed. Turnover on downs.
Yep. So now Lamar Jackson has the ball. They decide instead of kneeling the ball, they want to tie the record, the NFL record.
For most consecutive games with 100 yards plus rushing.
Correct.
100 yards at least rushing.
And so
were
they
3
ran the
yards
ball.
away.
Yeah, they ran the ball 6 or 7 yards and tied the record, right? So knee-jerk reaction, should they have just knelt the ball or was it okay?
No.
Oh, I am so
Wait,
sick.
which one?
They
Which one?
110%
Run the
were
ball.
right.
Run
Do
the
what
ball.
you want.
I am so sick of these stupid unwritten rules, and this happened in baseball a few years
that's
ago
what I
with
was
Fernando
wondering,
Tatis Jr. He hit a grand slam when they were up 13 to nothing, right?
Yeah.
And
100%,
well,
I agree.
another one with baseball is when they put in an infielder to pitch and a guy cranks a home run off him.
100%.
If you don't want something to happen to you, win the damn game.
Yeah.
Stop complaining. You're a professional. You're getting paid to do it. Stop complaining. It's not that big a deal.
So
It's something
two things for me.
that I learned with Coach Moore. Like Coach Moore, he always talked about how in later on, especially as a coach now that I'm coaching with him, we don't give a shiz. Like if we're beating a team by 10 runs, we might go base by base, but if I hit a ball to the wall, I'm running a triple, and everyone's gonna score. And if I hit a single, I'm gonna hit a single, and then if there's a situation where I could go,
You're
to
probably
third,
not going to go triple, but
I can run triples. But if I'm on first and a ball is hit to the outfield and I should be going first to third in any other situation, I'll stop at second.
Yeah.
But I'm not going up to the plate
To strike out. People don't
they put a
realize-
position player in, so I'm just gonna I'm not gonna try and hit. No, hell
People
no.
don't realize that it affects your stats. If you're going to go up there, I know we're talking about baseball as the unwritten rule, but if you're going to go up there and say, "Oh, there's a infielder pitching, I'm just going to strike out." No, I'm going to go up there and crank the ball as
Here's
hard
the thing
as
with
I
the
can.
Ravens. The only reason that I would say that I wouldn't have been okay with it if there wasn't a record on the line. If there wasn't a record on the line, 3 seconds left, up by that much, fine.
Yeah.
But I did also there was a record on the line, and I did also like what John Harbaugh had to say. Who were they playing?
The Broncos.
They could have knelt the ball and just ran out the game. Because he said, and I almost quote, there's no such thing as a 16-point touchdown in that scenario, so
Yeah.
why are you trying to go for a touchdown anyways? You decided to do that. You gave us the ball back, And we said from the beginning, if we have a chance to do it and we get a few seconds left, we're going to go for it.
They weren't expecting. He said, we were not expecting to get the ball.
Well, going off of that, it's like another thing that I'm like, okay, it makes sense they did it. They're known to run the ball. So, of course, they want the record because they're going to try and break it this next time. If it's a quarterback that never runs the ball, if it's Tom Brady and he peels out and runs for 5 yards.
I would still expect it.
Yeah.
I would be okay a little bit different. But
I would still be okay with it.
I'm sick of these, even basketball. Don't shoot after 23 seconds when you're down.
Or
if you steal the ball and go and dunk it.
Exactly. That's
good for him.
Yeah. If it's an unwritten rule, unwritten rules don't exist.
You're taught to play until the final buzzer.
They don't exist.
So play until the final buzzer goes off. If not, then don't play the sport.
Exactly.
It's stupid.
So my 2 points. One, I agree that they like. In my mind, it's like, who cares? Like, in the sense of like, just let them do their thing, right? What?
His phone
is off.
Yeah.
Turn it back on.
Is mine still going?
Yeah.
Diego's is going.
Why does it turn off?
Did you go into airplane mode?
Yeah, Wi-Fi off.
Storage.
It wouldn't be that. It would.
Storage will stop the video from recording.
Go to video. Try and record it. Yep. Storage is full.
What the hell? Oh well.
That sucks.
Do we want to move him to this mic and have him stay here?
No, it's fine. I mean, unless you want to clear up your storage real quick.
Delete the past videos, bro.
I did.
Did you delete them out of the trash?
Yes. I always delete all of my past videos. It only got 23 minutes.
It's about half. I was actually going to I was thinking to myself that we need to check it every now and then, and actually keep your brightness up a little bit,
or
so
we
can
need
see
to
it more.
just
One day.
What?
One day.
Have devices specifically for the
One day.
Do you have your messages set to delete after a year or whatever?
No, but I go in before every show and delete some, and make sure that I
just set them to delete after they've been there for a year.
Okay, 54 out of 64. Oh,
Should be fine. What did you delete?
Just some apps.
Okay.
Move your hands for a second. It's fine.
Push record?
No. He didn't.
Make sure it's on 60.
All right.
Okay, so my 2 points on who cares? Let them do their thing. Now I do think that had they decided to kneel the ball, I think that's respectable. I think I would have respected that decision. I've been like, good for them, right? But at the same time, I'm like, because I remember Todd Gurley kneeling the ball to end the game or something.
He should have kneeled the ball and didn't kneel.
No. Todd Gurley knelt it to let the clock run instead of scoring a touchdown to have. I don't know if it was a record or
For the Rams?
Yeah, he was doing something.
I remember that. What I was talking about is when he played for the Falcons, he messed up and they lost the game because of that, because he scored instead of kneeling it. In the huddle, they were like,
Go down. Don't go in the end zone.
Score.
Go down.
And he got there, and then he tried to tiptoe and just fell in.
Yeah.
And
so that's
him the
like,
game.
but he is the kind of player that doesn't care about the records and all that stuff, and that's fine. If you care about the records, care about the records. If you don't, then don't.
Yeah.
But the team did, right? So let them do it.
And it's a team. Like, it's not a personal record. It's a team record.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a cool
There's
thing
a
to
lot
achieve
of people
as
that
a
go into
team.
it. Yeah, and I know that one of the conferences I was hearing was the Broncos head coach. I guess he was the assistant coach for the Ravens, and he was pissed. So it sounds like there's some bad blood between him and what's his name?
John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh. And because he was like, yeah, the Ravens, they don't care about team safety. So it's like it's a disgruntled
team safety.
It's a
Just
disgruntled
stand there then. I don't
former
know if
employee.
you're
Put
afraid
Huntley in there and have him run it.
Yeah,
Well,
so
not
like
even that. Like,
he just sounded
why
like a
do you as a
disgruntled
coach care about Lamar Jackson's safety? Like, worry about your team.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about your team's safety, then have them stand there when you see that they're running a play. Say, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just
They'll
let
go
them
down.
get
They
it.
won't score. They'll
Yeah.
go down.
And even if they do, you're gonna lose anyways.
Yeah. So okay. Let's see. Who do I want to talk about first?
We just
The
need to cover.
Rams.
Yeah, we just need to cover it briefly, just
The
very
Rams.
briefly. It doesn't need to be something we
Tough
talk about
game.
a lot. It was a tough game.
Yeah.
They struggled.
Let me tell you who struggled because the as a unit, not necessarily. Defensively, they struggled to figure out what to do about Kyler Murray.
You don't
Yes.
think you don't think that the offense struggled?
The only person on the offense who struggled was Matt Stafford. The guy was
No.
I could
No.
not believe the throws that I was seeing.
Cooper Cup hit
Dropped
his
a
hands
pass,
and
one pass.
Not even
Fine.
one. He dropped
but
a
there was
couple of
there was.
passes.
I mean, Cooper Cup was wide open down the field, or wide open, and he just missed the throw. Deshaun Jackson just get it
Matt
out in
Stafford
front of
was
him.
not
he
the
just,
only one who struggled.
No, he just struggled the
No,
most. I think
yeah,
it was
but
it was a
like-
rough game. That's all. It was
Yeah,
just a rough game.
Exactly.
Well,
but
when the
okay.
offense struggles, the quarterback is the main person to point out because he is the main person of the offense.
Not when
But
it's the
the
Bucks,
offense-
though. Not the Bucks.
The offense struggled
Yeah.
in general.
yeah, I think the
The
offense.
Rams
struggled.
they did
The Rams
struggle
and
this
the-
week.
the
They
Rams
did not
and-
play.
We'll come
When
back to the game when we
I
talk
did
about the power
it. I did
rankings, 'cause-
talk about it. I was thinking about it when I was not here. When I say that a team struggled or didn't struggle, I'm saying that they in that moment they did the best that they could to win, but the other team just outplayed them. So the Rams did
I
not
don't
play.
even agree with that.
That's fine. The Rams did not play their best football, and that's why they struggled.
Yeah.
They struggled to figure anything out. When you have a perfect game plan, like you know who I wouldn't say struggled but lost? The Patriots. They didn't struggle.
No.
They didn't struggle at all. But they still lost. They did everything they could to win that game.
Agreed.
the kicker
So-
struggled to make the field goal.
No,
No,
but
he
he didn't
didn't.
struggle. It's just
Kidding, it's a joke.
you make
It was a
mistake.
joke.
You make a
It
mistake.
was a
It's not a
joke.
struggle.
The Cardinals
So-
did look good though.
Yeah,
they
we'll
did.
talk more about
They
them
did.
in a little bit because that will come up in the
Yeah.
power rankings,
Yep.
and I'm
I
sure
don't
it'll.
even.
So
Okay, so let's talk. I want to talk about the Chiefs Eagles for a very specific reason.
I don't even have anything to talk about.
I do because I had
I
a
do.
lot of thoughts watching that game because the
Travis
Chiefs
Kelce did not do well.
The
Well,
Chiefs
they shut him down.
the Chiefs. I personally, I don't care what you guys think. I don't know if they make it into the playoffs, if they make it past the first round, because the way that their defense is playing, their defense is horrendous right now.
I agree.
Right? Like they don't look good. Offense is doing okay, especially compared to
their
before.
offense isn't doing okay. There are
Compared
two
to the
teams,
defense-
there are two people on the team that are doing okay. And
Compared
that's
to
why
the
I think-
defense, they're doing okay. But the Chiefs' defense sucks.
Yeah, but that's why I think that it was such a hot take last week when we talked about Tyreek Hill. But I think this week showed it. That guy, if he goes down, the Chiefs offense is really going to struggle. Like they are not going to be able to put a lot of stuff up because what's happening right now is the Chiefs, the teams that are playing against the Chiefs right now have two things figured out. They've figured out Travis Kelce and how to kind of combat his usefulness. They've also figured out people are starting to figure out Patrick Mahomes a little bit. And Tyreek Hill is overrated. There's nothing that he does other than the fact that he's fast and he has one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now playing for him. So he's doing the only thing that's good about him is that he's fast. He obviously can catch the ball, but there's nothing special about the dude except for the fact that he's faster than most everyone that he's playing with. So he's an overrated receiver in my opinion. He doesn't really have to do a lot to be able to be really successful.
I also am starting to really believe, and I mean, not that I didn't believe this when you would say it, but now, like, watching that game specifically, I kept thinking to myself, like, Patrick Mahomes is extremely overrated.
I
and
still
again,
don't think so, but okay.
I think you are going. I think that because again, I said it more because again, he's kind of like my new Tom Brady. I don't dislike Tom Brady anymore. I'm actually a big fan of Tom Brady's, whereas I wasn't before. So he was kind of like my new Tom Brady, where it's like I just like to hate him, but I actually genuinely think he could turn around. It could be a fluke of a few weeks, sure, but I think that if he continues down this trajectory and he continues to be talked about as one of the best ever, I would just be shocked.
Well, hang on. My thing with it is this, because it's hard. All quarterbacks go through tough spots, right? And you can't you can't expect the great quarterbacks.
Tom Brady only did because he got injured.
No, he didn't win the Super Bowl every year.
No, but that's not a tough spot.
He made it to the Super Bowl almost every year.
What I'm saying is some of the greatest quarterbacks only have one Super Bowl. And they struggle during the season. So it's not like a quarterback can't struggle and then he's...
team. Patrick Mahomes
This
himself.
is the first time in his career that he's really struggled.
Are you telling me that because... Okay. See, this is the problem that I'm having. Is you're telling me right now that some of the greatest quarterbacks have only one Super Bowl. He already has a Super Bowl. But you can't... I'm sorry, and I will go to my deathbed arguing this. You cannot put Patrick Mahomes in the conversation as one of the best quarterbacks ever right now. You can't do it.
Hang on, let me finish my point, because my whole point wasn't about the Super Bowls. My whole point was quarterbacks are going to struggle.
Yes.
So you cannot say, because this is his first time in his career that he has actually struggled.
He's showing a little bit of adversity, so how are you going to handle it?
That's my point. And so you can't say...
Jared Goff did the same thing. He could go down the same route as Jared Goff.
Okay, he can. But we have to wait, because Carson Wentz did the same thing, right? Yes. But then you look at other quarterbacks who didn't do that. You look at Peyton Manning, who I know that was his rookie season.
Yes, you're right.
So in my mind, it's hard for me right now to say he is overrated.
Fine.
When we have seen him do great things.
Are you telling me that he's in the conversation right now as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever?
No, he has to do more.
Okay. Then we're good.
What
then we're
I'm
on the
saying
same page.
is, though, is I personally can't say
but as
he's
of 2
overrated.
weeks ago, you would have said differently, which means that your view is changing.
Pretty sure you did.
I never said he was.
That he's
I never said he
on
was in the same conversation as Tom Brady, because Tom Brady has done more. I said at the end of his career. How many arguments
have you and Miguel had over it? That's like the whole basis of the argument.
No.
Saying that he can be one of the greatest and saying that he is right now are two different
Every
things.
quarterback can be one of the greatest.
Okay, but what I have said in the past is that
what you guys
from what we've seen, he has the potential to. He is on his way.
No. What you guys have said, what the argument has been, is that based off of everything that he's done right now, he's already one of the best to ever do it.
No, he's on his way to becoming one of the best to ever do it.
Sorry, what you guys have said is that based off of what he's doing right now, he will be the greatest quarterback to ever play. That's the argument.
No, I have not once said that he is going to be greater. I have not once said that he's going to be greater than Tom Brady. I have not once said that he's going to be greater than Tom Brady.
We're going to have to.
I'm saying that at the end of his career, if he keeps playing like he has the potential to be.
No,
he does.
That's fine.
Because if he makes it to the Super Bowl every year, he can win 6 or 7 just like Tom Brady.
He won't.
All I know right now is that the Chiefs. I would be surprised if they even made it into the playoffs as they're playing right now, because. Like, for me, yes, they beat the Eagles by 12 points, but the Eagles, they were looking good, first of all, the first half especially. And for a moment there, I thought they were gonna end up winning.
Yeah.
But they play the Bills next.
Yeah.
Probably gonna lose.
That's gonna be
the Chiefs.
So
I don't know that though. I don't. Based on how they played, I don't think it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be.
It'll be a telling.
Yeah.
I have something to say real quick. Back to my Tyreek Hill. I have the statistics to back this up. Okay, Patrick Mahomes threw 30 passes, completed 24, 278 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. How many catches did Tyreek Hill have? How many targets did he have?
7.
12. Out of 30,
6 of them.
How many did he catch?
6.
11. 11 out of 12.
So what? I'm confused.
So 168 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
You take him out of that game, they don't win.
But you were just saying he's overrated.
But hang on. Here's my thing.
I'm just saying I'm not saying to his team he's not overrated. He's 100% necessary. As a player, he's no Devontae Adams. Like Devontae Adams does things and has. Hang on.
You take Tyreek Hill out, the team is done.
Yes. So to his team, he's he's not.
That would mean that you're
But
underrated.
as an individual player, he's overrated. As an individual player.
It's hard.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
No,
He's
I'm
a
getting what you're
necessity to the
saying.
team, but as an individual player, he is overrated.
So then the Chiefs are overrated because if he's a necessity to the team and he's overrated, then if the Chiefs are nothing without him, then what does that say about the Chiefs?
Here's the
For example,
issue.
DeAndre Hopkins right now, you don't hear about him much. He's underrated.
Is he doing anything this year?
Cooper Kupp
is probably the most
100% underrated as a player, but does that make their team underrated? No. That's what I'm saying. As a player, he's
I still
underrated.
think the Chiefs are overrated. But.
Here's my thing.
I do as
Hang
well.
on.
All I'm saying is an individual.
I know you do.
But
Here's
you're
my
just
thing.
arguing
No,
with me.
I'm not.
And
I was
you agree
agreeing
with
with
me.
Here's what I don't like about your argument. Because you say if you take Tyreek Hill out of that game, they don't win.
Yes.
How do you know?
Because he had 3 touchdowns.
But that
his long was 44 yards. The only reason he had
That
those
is
touchdowns
all
was because he is,
hypothetical.
yes, obviously.
So
but
how do
it's
you know
because-
that they don't win the game?
Because they don't. Tyreek Hill is a weapon because he is the fastest person on the field.
But he
that
goes
he's
to
playing.
another. Maybe he gets Travis Kelce more involved. Maybe he gets other wide. Like you
If
cannot.
he can,
you
the
can't-
only reason
No, you
the
cannot.
only reason that Tyreek Hill is so involved is because he's the only player on the team who can create the space that Patrick Mahomes is just able to just put it out there.
You
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
tell
If you
me-
take him off the field, then Patrick Mahomes has to be more precise with every.
But you can't
his
tell me
game
they
has
lose
to
the
step
game
up.
100%.
No, obviously.
That's what you sound like when you say
Yes,
if you take him out of the
because
game,
that's
they
what I
lose the
think.
game.
That's what I think. Based off the statistics, if you take 3 touchdowns off the board, they lose. They lose by a
By
lot.
5 points.
No, they won by 12. So you take 3 touchdowns, and that's 9 points.
Yeah.
My point is that if you take those 3 away, they lose. The only reason that it's not happening is because he's creating separation, and Patrick Mahomes does not have to be perfect to get him the ball. If he goes out, Patrick Mahomes' game has to step up. He has to be a better, more precise, better skilled quarterback. All of his receivers have to step up. I don't think they have the ability to do that. Travis Kelce is your number 2 guy, and they have him figured out.
But my
so
thing
Tyreek
is-
Hill right now is the key to the Chiefs winning to be able to win. If he goes out, they don't win. If they're
Tyreek
playing
Hill-
a semi-good team.
If Tyreek Hill goes out of the game, Patrick Mahomes then knows exactly what you said. That my passing game has to step
Can
up.
he do that?
Yes.
Nah.
No.
Are you telling me he's not a precise quarterback?
I think that he is too. I think that he tries to be too flashy for his own good.
Okay,
And
but
that doesn't
my-
have to happen with Tyreek Hill. So he can be flashy because he can risk it because he knows, I can be flashy and make a mistake because next play, Tyreek Hill's going to be down the field
Okay.
and I can just
Can
throw
I
it to
tell you
him.
my opinion
But
about
right
it
now,
Can I tell you my opinion?
If he goes out, he can't be as flashy. And that's like all Patrick Mahomes is right now.
You want to know my opinion about it? Patrick Mahomes then knows he cannot do that stuff. And the other wide receivers then know
Does he,
they
though?
have. Okay,
But that's his
my
game.
opinion. I'm telling you my opinion about
His
it.
game is the flashy. So if he can't
hang
do
on,
the
let
flashy,
me finish my point. In my opinion, if Tyreek Hill goes out of the game, Patrick Mahomes then knows he has to be more precise with his throws because his other targets, other than Travis Kelce, are not as good, right? In my mind, then the wide receivers, if I'm an NFL wide receiver and the number 1 target goes out, I then know I have to step up my game because we need help. And so, in my head, if I am on that team, I know that all around we need to step up because our number 1 target went down.
but will
So,
it happen?
Nobody knows.
Exactly.
But nobody knows about your point.
Right, but what
So
I'm
that's the
saying is
thing.
I have the statistics to back up that statement.
No.
Yes, I do.
Because if
in
he goes,
that
if he's
game,
not in
if you
at the
change
beginning,
everything about that, if you don't change anything about that game except for the fact that Tyreek Hill was playing, they lose.
but you
That's what I'm-
cannot do that because if he's out from the beginning of the game,
That's the only thing we can look at. It's a
No,
hypothetical. All I'm
because
saying.
that doesn't even work.
Yes, it does
he's out
because
of the-
Tyreek Hill doesn't have to be in the game. They can play a whole game without him being in the
I
game.
get that. That's my point. And if he's not in the game, then Patrick Mahomes goes to other targets.
My
He went
point-
11
oh my
times.
gosh,
He
I
went
get
12
that.
times out of 30 to Tyreek Hill, so he obviously goes somewhere
I
else.
get that. I'm saying if you don't change anything else about the game,
But that's an impossible scenario.
all of these scenarios are
I
impossible
get
because
that,
it's
but
not
you're
happening.
trying to push that if you take him out of the game, they lose the game
That's
automatically.
my whole point.
But
That Antonio, It's 100% fact that if you take Tyreek Hill out of this game and nothing else changes, nothing. It's 100% hypothetical.
Okay.
Nothing
Where
changes.
do the other 12 targets go to then?
They are wiped off. I'm saying you take him out.
But then you have to wipe off those plays.
Yes.
So there's
That's
12
what I'm
less
saying.
plays.
Yes.
So that doesn't work.
Antonio, that's the whole hypothetical. I'm saying Patrick
makes no
Mahomes,
sense.
Listen, none of this makes sense.
I agree. I'm trying to
God.
combat
Wait,
your
my
argument.
turn.
Wait,
Hold on, wait, no.
Patrick Mahomes throws 12 less passes. I'm saying you take Tyreek Hill and his stats out of the game.
Take just one drive out.
That's it.
Okay, hold on.
They lose.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill right now is the key to the Chiefs. 100%. Because here's my point.
No,
We
heard your point.
No, we're trying to say if Patrick Mahomes knows these things, is it going to happen? Can he make the change and be less of a flashy, try to do everything quarterback? Who in the league right now plays a certain way, and when he doesn't play that way, it doesn't work?
I do not understand what you just said. Do you understand what he just said?
Yes,
Answer
Lamar
really
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. You try to take what Lamar Jackson does as a quarterback and change it because it needs to fit the offense better or he needs to adjust, right? Lamar Jackson loses every running back on his team. So now you got to be more reliant on the passing game, right? So we tried to get him to do that, and it sucks. So what do? We just let him do his thing.
Being flashy is different from being a runner.
No, it's not.
It
because,
is.
Because doing a no-look pass can work, but it also can't. But if you have someone to fall back on to say, if I make one mistake, it's okay because more than likely Tyreek Hill is going to be open the next play and I don't have to worry, then we're good.
So real quick, before we move on to the next topic, here's the way I see it. Patrick Mahomes, unfortunately for him, has been set up for a grand crash.
Yeah.
Because I think about back when I was a kid, I remember Michael Vick. He probably was. I don't know the conversations because I wasn't part of them, but I can imagine that he was part of the conversation of becoming one of the best ever. And then
I would honestly say that he's probably still up there.
Yes, but he didn't end that way, regardless of whatever legal issues he was having. Donovan McNabb, the same thing, right? Like I feel like I remember, and again, I wasn't in football and paying attention, but Dad was watching PTI all the time, so I heard the stuff, right? And I remember, just over the years, all of a sudden Donovan McNabb really isn't part of the conversation anymore. It's very possible, not likely, but possible that one day Patrick Mahomes will just kind of be like,
kind of fizzle out.
Yeah, that one
Guy that we
who
thought
had a lot of potential, and
we thought he was going to be there, but he kind of just fizzled out. I could see it. Anyways,
but again, that's not likely, but a potential.
Tyreek Hill is the key to the Chiefs' offense right now.
Okay, so next topic, Chargers and Raiders, good game.
I don't really have much to say.
I mean,
it was a good game.
And
It was a good game by the Chargers. The Raiders played a good third quarter.
Exactly. I think no. I think it was a good game for the Chargers. Like that was the first Chargers game I've watched, and I was like, thoroughly impressed.
Justin Herbert is the real deal.
Let me tell you, it just gave a lot more stock to the potential of possible Rams versus Chargers. Just saying.
No, it doesn't.
Oh yes, it does.
It's going to
more
be the Rams and the
potential,
Cardinals, but yeah, you're right.
You can't be the Rams and the Cardinals
Wild card.
in the Super Bowl.
No, it can't be the Chargers.
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can.
Can it be?
Rams
Yes.
over
Oh,
here.
that's right.
Chargers over here.
Oh,
He's so stupid. No, the Chargers in the AFC and the Rams are in the NFC.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's all I had to say.
I
About
don't
it.
have
I think
much to say about
I think
that
Justin
game.
Herbert looked great. I think I actually, for the first time, listened to an interview of his. He has kind of a weird voice.
Who?
Justin Herbert.
yeah.
It's kind of. I mean, we already knew he was kind of a weird guy, but yeah. Okay. All right. College football top 25.
Yeah, a
Thoughts?
couple big things. One, Clemson is out of the top 25 for the first time since 2014. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what the number was. So that's they won and they dropped. Surprise for me, biggest surprise for me was that Oregon is still number 8. Oregon was ranked number 3 and lost to a unranked,
Stanford
playing
team.
Stanford team. They've been playing very good football, but they're still ranked 8. They only dropped 5 spots. But then when you look at somebody who's, say, ranked 15th, if they lose to somebody who's unranked, they are basically out of the top 25. We kind of talked about that a few weeks ago. So why is a number 2 team only dropping 5 spots? Still,
What's their record?
4-1.
They're the only. There's
There's
two
two
teams
4-1
in the
teams
top
in the
10.
top 10. But there's also 2 undefeated teams that are in the top 15. Actually,
Well,
3.
With the top
4.
4 teams,
Sheesh,
usually,
5.
from what I've seen, they don't drop that much after losing. And the only thing I can think of that would stop them from dropping more is that it was Pac-12 play, like it was within
But
conference.
that doesn't matter
I
because
understand
that's even worse because the
that.
Pac-12 is garbage this year, and some of Oregon's other wins too. Like maybe if the other 4 wins that they have were like blowing these teams out of the water, then maybe. But they've all been semi-close games.
I'll say this though, I mean, Ohio State's ahead of them, and Oregon beat Ohio State. So how do you swing that?
You don't, but they both shouldn't be in there right now.
Okay.
There's undefeated teams. If there are undefeated teams in the top 25, in my opinion, there shouldn't be teams with 1 loss above them yet.
Okay, but there's a lot of teams with at least 1 loss, and there's one team with 2 losses in the top 25 still, including Florida, who got smacked.
How many undefeated teams are there?
Oh, there's
A
at
good
least
amount.
at least 10 right now. So my point is especially like even honestly like a BYU
15.
or like a Michigan State who's been playing good football, Coastal Carolina, Kentucky, like all these teams. Obviously Kentucky is iffy because they weren't in the top 25 before this week. But any team who's been in the top 25 and is still undefeated, like anyone who was in the top 25 last week and now is undefeated should be higher than any team that has 1 loss, in my opinion.
So here's my question, though, because Florida was number 10, and they lost to Kentucky. And
Who was
they didn't
unranked.
drop out.
But they
of the
dropped
20.
10 spots
I know,
rather than
but
Oregon only dropped 5 spots.
I don't know. I just...
Give me a 10 spot at least. Put them at 11.
But my question is, like, there's been a lot of teams this year that have been losing that were in the top 10. So
what they're looking at is, are these teams able to beat Oregon? That right in this moment, that doesn't matter. When you're looking at college football playoff rankings, that matters a little bit more.
They'd be lower in the college football playoff.
I don't think so. Oregon?
I think so.
No.
Because this is more based on voting.
This is based on voting. College football playoff is based on what teams can beat other teams, and right now Oregon's showing that they can beat most every team they're playing. That's why I think they'll be higher. But right now, kick them down a little bit. I think it's because Oregon's president is the head of the college football playoff committee. I have thought that for a couple years now, especially when Utah was up in the conversation, number 6, number 5. I have always thought that it was a little corrupt because he's in the college football playoff committee. He's actually the head of the college football playoff
Alabama were to lose to an unranked team, do you see them falling out of the top 10?
Well, Alabama's number 1. So I would see them falling 8, 9, or 10.
So you think Oregon? Where do you think Oregon should land?
11. I think that.
Where were they before? 3?
3.
Yeah.
And they're 2.
They're 8.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so
They dropped.
I think Michigan should be ahead of them. I don't
based
think
on that
Ohio
logic,
State
I
should
think
be
it's
ahead of them.
fair.
I think BYU should be ahead of them.
Okay, but why?
BYU's
Wait,
playing good.
why Michigan? Who has Michigan played?
It doesn't matter. They're undefeated.
It does matter.
They're undefeated, and Michigan, their wins have been all blowouts. 47-14, 31-10, 63-10. Then they played the Rutgers and they won 20-13, and then 38-17. That's the difference. Where Oregon has also played teams that are like whatever. Fresno State, a good State team, obviously didn't blow them out. A good Ohio State, number 3 at the time, won by a touchdown. And then they blew out Arizona, and then they barely they barely lost to Stanford, but they lost. So they haven't had any like one ridiculously blowout game.
Here's the thing.
To me, I just think they should have dropped.
Here's
lower.
the thing.
Like
I agree with you. I just like my whole thing is until they make the playoffs bigger, that's not going to change because it's going to be top tier teams stay in the top 10
it's
as long as they
thing
exactly
right
that's
now.
the thing
So
and
annoying.
and so in my head I'm like I agree with what you're saying that they should be out of the top 10, but they're not going to put BYU higher until they prove more and more and more and more.
They've been proving it. I don't know.
That's
what to
my
tell
point.
You. I don't even like
it's the
BYU.
popularity thing. They're not gonna get higher until who do they play? BYU plays Boise State next, which won't do anything for them, and then they play.
Should.
Boise is nothing this year. That's my point. But their next tough opponent will be Baylor.
They've beat three. They beat 3 Pac-12 teams.
I agree.
They beat South Florida, which whatever, and then they beat Utah State, which is fine. They're playing like their schedule this year. Honestly, if they were to go undefeated this year, based off of the schedule they have, they should be in the college football playoff. If they win every one of their games, they should be in the college football playoff.
This is who?
BYU. Because they're playing from here on. They have Boise State, which always is a good game, and Boise State usually plays good football. So they're a good team. They're a good program. Then you have Baylor, who was in the top 25 at some point this year. Washington State, Pac-12 team. Virginia, who's always good. Idaho State, whatever. Georgia South, whatever. And then USC. So they're playing teams that historically are great. If they win them all, they should be in the top 4.
I mean, with the little college football knowledge that I have, I think that even if they go undefeated all the way up to USC, they should, if USC is your only loss, right?
Depends on what USC does.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right now, we're just looking historically.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, no Pac-12 team is good right now, except for Oregon.
Yeah.
And Utah should have been. If they would have listened.
Arizona State's not doing bad.
No, they're not. And UCLA is okay. Utah, if they would have been starting Cameron Rising from the beginning, we wouldn't have a loss yet. I don't think we would have lost to BYU. I think that was a huge reason why was because Charlie Brewer just doesn't seem like he's super mobile, but he's
and he just
out
didn't
of the question
seem like he
anymore.
really cared.
Yeah, he's out of the question. So, but yeah, I mean, as of now, I think those were the biggest surprises to me. So, it'll be an interesting week to see kind of what happens.
What are the numbers by Alabama?
The amount of votes that the points. Oh, the amount of first place votes. So Georgia got 9 first place votes.
It just shows the top 2 though.
No, it shows anybody who got first place votes will show next to it.
Well, because the reason I'm confused is because the numbers don't add up for the coaches poll and the.
Yes, it does. 53-9 is 60.
54.
62.
62.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It doesn't
I don't
really
know.
matter.
I just know that's the amount of first place votes that they have. So.
All right.
Okay. All right, everyone. There you have it. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Again, please like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and let us know what you think down in the comments. Till next time.